Hey everybody, Carla with Karla's Clever Crafts. I figured I would hop on here and do another wreath. I'm gonna try to get this done before my husband gets home. I do have dinner in the oven, so if you guys hear a loud beep, I apologize. I'll step back there and shut it off as soon as it goes off. But to do this design, I'm gonna do these cute two little bunnies. They got a cute bunny tail on the back, so I'm thinking that I'm gonna actually have them facing away with their little bunny tails showing. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop off these little bows that come on it. Okay, and we'll lay these to the side. Oh, before I do, these came from Hobby Lobby. I bought them last year, and they were originally $7.99, and I got, I think it was 40% off. Okay, and I plugged my computer back in because it was almost dead. So I don't have my comments again. I will try to see up there if anybody comments, but I really can't see you guys, so I'm sorry. Okay, so I am going to do the ruffle method this time. I'm not going to do cruffle. And in my last video that I did a pancake wreath. With a pancake wreath, you make ruffles, but then you lay them over each other. So this time I'm going to do only ruffles. So we're not going to curl the ends, and we're not going to overlap them to make them flat. We're just going to do cruffles and see what that turns out like, what that looks like. Okay, so on my frame, I'm using a 14-inch wire frame, and I've wired half of it here. I'm going to explain to you guys how I did it and then show you in these 3 sections. The Dollar Tree frame has 6 sections. A section is considered between each crossbar. So we have a bar here and a bar here. This is 1 section. And then in each section, I'm putting 3 pipe cleaners. I'm going to put 1 on these inside 2 rows and then 2 on these outside 2 rows. So let me start with this section here, and I'll show you how I do that. It's going to give us a total of 18 pipe cleaners. We'll have 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. The way I do it is I start on the inside 2 rings. I want to put my pipe cleaner as close as I can to the middle of these 2 crossbars. So I'm just going to find that middle spot. And I'm going to twist my knot over this inside ring. That gives you more stability for when you put your mesh and ribbons in. And then after we get that middle one placed, we're going to come between that one and this crossbar on the outside 2 rings, and we're going to place a pipe cleaner in the middle. So in the middle of this pipe cleaner and this crossbar on the outside 2 rings. And again, we're twisting our knot over the inside ring that we're working on. And I push my inside ones in and my outside ones out just to keep them out of my way while I'm working. That's the only reason. And we're doing the same thing on the other side here. We're coming halfway between this pipe cleaner and this crossbar and finding the middle on the outside 2 rings. I don't know, can you guys even see this on my countertop? I might need to put something down. Okay, so I'm coming on the inside 2 rings. I'm in my next section now. So I'm going back to the inside 2 rings, and I'm going to go in the middle of the 2 crossbars. Okay, now back to the outside 2 rings. We're going to put 1 here between this pipe cleaner and this crossbar, and then we're going to come to the other side and put 1 here between this pipe cleaner and this crossbar. And we just do that in all 6 sections, and that gives us our total of 18. Again, we're in our next section, so we're going to go back to the inside 2 rings, place 1 in the middle of that section, back to the outside 2 rings. My frame's been a little bit, you guys, but I don't think it'll hurt anything. Put 1 in the middle of the first pipe cleaner and the crossbar. Do the same thing on the other side. And so this is what each section looks like after you get it. You've got one in the middle on the inside tube, and then two on the outside. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be using two different meshes for this one, and I'm going to use this black and white check because we have check pattern bunnies. And then I'm going to use this pink. It's kind of like a solid pink metallic. This pink came from bbcrafts.com. It's called eyelash mesh, and they have it in a variety of colors. And then this black and white check came from Craft Outlet. Okay, so I'm going to just unroll a few of these. Okay. Move this over a little. Put this straight out in front of me to make a ruffle. Oh, my mesh is 10 inches wide, and then I cut each piece 16 to 17 inches long. To make my ruffle, I'm just going to fold this edge under about a ½ inch, and then I'm going to follow this white line down the middle to keep it straight, and I'm just going to scrunch all the way to the other side, pulling it towards me. And then I'm going to fold that other side under as well. Okay, and then we're just going to come to our first pipe cleaner here and put our ruffle in. I'm going to overlap it a little, but leave it fluffy. We'll see. See what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to do a pink one because I'm going to rotate the collars. Fold my edge underneath. Scrunch. I'm going to follow these lines to stay in the middle. Scrunch it towards me. Push that other cut edge underneath. And we're just going to lay it right in here in our next pipe cleaner. Okay. Pull up my next one. Flat. I use something to hold it because it tries to curl up naturally. It just makes it easier for me. Lay this one in our next pipe cleaner. And I'm pulling these, tying these in real tight. See, when we lay it out flat, make sure that you put the curled side down to do this. Oh, there goes the oven. I'll hit that off button in just a second. I'm going to try to keep my pipe cleaners facing up so I can come back in and put my ribbons in. Okay, let me turn this off real quick. Making chicken casserole for dinner. I think that's Linda. Hi, Linda. I can't see what it actually says, though. I'm sorry. I will definitely answer you after I'm done with the live. I had to put, my computer battery is not holding charge, and so I had to put it back on charge after the live that I did earlier today. closer. That would probably help you see better. And I actually, when I first started doing this, I said I was going to overlay them a little bit. I'm actually not doing that because I need to be able, if I overlay this, it prevents me from being able to pull my next pipe cleaner up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to lay them in just as they are. This will probably be my last bunny design for the year. I have so much Easter stuff that I didn't even get to, though. I feel guilty about it. Got some beautiful crosses and stuff. I don't know why I keep pushing this away. Oh, now I know why I keep moving this, so I can do my ruffle. I think this pink and black and white is really pretty together. So I mostly do cruffle method on my wreath designs because it seems to be very popular with my customers. But I did want to try to do some different designs and show you guys different ways that you can do your mesh. So that's why I'm doing this ruffle one. And then I actually had a request to do, I wish I could remember who asked me to do the pancake method. So I did one of those this morning, and I may actually do another one. Since I did have a request, I might do a different design. Just to show a little bit of variety for that style. And it is good when you're doing ruffles, cruffles, or anything if you have a type of mesh that has some kind of pattern so that it has lines that you can follow to make sure you're keeping it centered as you scrunch it. Just makes it easier for you. I mean, you can use any kind of mesh, but it does make it easier. Okay, we got two more. We have a string loose on this one, so I'm going to snip that off. Okay, and then we need one more pink. And then when I put this last piece in, I'm going to go to the piece to the right of it, and I'm just going to pull that out and layer it over the last piece that I put in. So that way everything's uniform and consistent. And that's what it looks like with our first layer. And now I'm going to add some ribbon tails. A full confession time. When I first started making wreaths, and I first found out about Craft Outlet, I was so excited to find all of their adorable ribbons, and I actually fell in love with these two. And at the time, the videos that I was watching all said to cut your ribbons to 10 inches. So as soon as I got this ribbon, I started cutting it all up into 10-inch pieces because I was going to make all kinds of wreaths with them. Only to discover that I don't really like to use 10-inch pieces very much. I prefer 12 or 13-inch. Even 11-inch is not too bad. 10-inch, I just decided not to do. But I've had this ribbon now for a couple years, and it just keeps sitting around. And so I am going to actually try it on this ruffled base and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the plan. So I'm going to do my usual, I'm going to crisscross them into a small X. I'm going to scrunch them down the middle, and I'm just going to place it in the pipe cleaner. And I'm going to use only these two ribbons to go around all my mesh. That was another thing that I wanted to try. I normally do 4 different ribbons, but I wanted to do a design with just 2 and see how that looked. Okay, so I'm just going to curl up my tails. This is a good sign. We can still see the bunnies pretty well. Now, at the time I started doing this, a lot of wreath makers were saying use 10-inch ribbon tails. And it didn't take me long to figure out. And at the time, I was just getting started as well. So even though there were some at the time saying 12 inches, I was like, well, I got to really save money. I got to make this ribbon go as far as I can. So I followed the 10-inch advice. And then as you can see, the ribbon just sat for several years. So that was not useful to me. So if you're new and you're just starting out, don't make that mistake. And if you do think 10 inch is going to work for you, just cut one set and try it out before you commit to cutting all of it. When I started wreath making, it was a large learning curve for me. It was not anything that came natural. And I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. But I actually think that this is going to work out. I think that's going to be cute, especially since I'm just using 2 ribbons and 2 meshes and we have all the same color pattern going on here. I think it's going to work. And when I added this mesh, I don't think I mentioned, I was only adding or working on the outside 12 pipe cleaners. I haven't done anything with the 6 on the inside yet. I'm going to go ahead and add these ribbon tails now because it will be harder to add them once we have another layer of mesh. And I'm just going around, and as I scrunch the ribbon, I'm just adding it into the very next pipe cleaner that has mesh on it. And then I give it like 3 or 4 twists and clip it off. Push your end down in and squeeze it. That helps hold your ribbon secure and ensures it's not going to come off. think I'm going to end up having to buy a new computer to keep doing this, because I have to use it a lot and it's just not, it's not holding charge, and I have it plugged in back there in my craft room, so it's not convenient for me to do a lot of the stuff I have to do on it back there. And it is several years old, so they also start to like slow down and lag. And so I'm probably going to be computer shopping in the next month or so. Okay. Just to give you a close-up, see, because since I'm using 10-inch tails, I want to make sure that you guys can see what that's looking like. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to make a nice overall design. Making sure I wasn't sure. Oh, that one's really short. I wasn't sure if this pattern had a good side and a bad side, but they're both exactly the same. I was just making sure I wasn't putting them in upside down. I love this black and white and pink bunny ribbon. That is one of my favorites. So needless to say, after I decided I wasn't going to use all these 10-inch pieces, I ordered more of it. I think some of these that I even cut accidentally shorter than 10 inches. So that's a couple of them that didn't even look like they were 10 inches. And since I was new to all this, it's hard to tell what I did. I'll keep checking to see if I can see comments, guys. I still can't. So please know if you're watching, I appreciate it. I appreciate it if you watch the replay later. It all helps me to grow my page and then therefore grow my business and my ability to do tutorials. twisting my pipe cleaners 3 or 4 times. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Clip off the extra and push the piece that's still there down inside and squeeze it. Both of these ribbons came from Craft Outlet, and even though I got them some time ago, I'm pretty sure that they do still have both of these. They're 2.5-inch size. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I ordered more of this black this year. So as long as it's still in stock, you should be able to find it. Okay, here's our last one. I'm not sure why, you guys, but this looks like flat over here in this section. And I'm not, when I lay these in, I'm not laying them in exactly the same way every time. I should have mentioned that sooner. Some of them I'm laying this way, some of them this way. I'm just trying to do it so that I get good full coverage of the area with all my ribbon tails. Especially since they are only 10 inches. That way I was able to spread them out and get good coverage. And something's not right in this section. Oh, you know what? That's because that was where I did that overlap. So we definitely don't want to overlap, because that flattens our design. We only want to do that if we're doing the pancake method and we're trying to make a thin wreath to go between storm doors. That's better. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Super cute. I actually am really liking it. The tails are showing really nicely. You can see the bunnies all over. You can see the plaid. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull these 6 pipe cleaners on the inside straight up. Just come between the pieces of mesh and pull them straight up. And that's easier said than done. There we go. Just make sure you come up between the 2 pieces of mesh so that you're bringing your pipe cleaner straight up. Then of course I'll probably have to readjust my ribbon tails. Now we have all 6 of them up, so we're just going to do 6 more cruffles. Not cruffles, ruffles. So again, I'm just going to fold this edge under, scrunch right down this white line in the middle to keep it centered. My mesh tries to turn on me, which it will. I'm just going to pull it back so that I keep going straight down that middle line. And then just pinch the 2 sides together. Like that. We're just going to come in here and put it right in our first pipe cleaner. and twist it. And we're going to leave that pipe cleaner there so we can come back and add some more ribbons. And I pulled down on this a little bit, but not too tight because I didn't want that whole ruffle to sink clear to the base of my design. Oops. Turn the curls over face down. Fold up the first side. Nope, guys, we need pink. Brain is not working again. We're rotating our colors, so now we got to do pink. And I'm just following the lines on this the same way. And it tries to turn. I'm just going to pull it back and make it go the way I want it to go. So there's ruffle. Put it in our next pipe cleaner. Okay, so that's what it looks like with our second layer of the ruffles. We'll just keep going around. Coming together. Out of my way. So next is black. It looks like, again, I'm short one piece of black and white mesh. I don't know how I keep doing that. I did that on my live earlier today. Only this time I'm going to have to go get it. I'm not missing one. I was wrong. Phew, thank goodness. Try to get my pipe cleaner up through all this. So we're on our last one, which is pink. It's really starting to doubt my ability to count. I messed up on two things in my live earlier counting and thought I had done it again on this one. But fortunately I didn't. Okay, and now we're going to go back around in these 6 that we just added, and we're going to do the ribbon tails again. Now these are going to be distinct sections on the bottom. I laid them different angles because we had 12 and they all just kind of overlapped and ran into each other. But these 6 on the top are going to be distinct sections. So I'm going to lay all of my ribbons in like I have these two. And then I'm just going to fluff them out in like an X shape. So just like that. Okay, so now we'll do the next one. Let's see if I can work backwards here to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to lay them in this way with that way and up that way, so like an X, and then twist them in, twist it 3 or 4 times, clip off the extra, and push it down in and squeeze it, and then I'm just going to fluff these out in like an X pattern. Okay, got 3 more to go, and we'll be ready to add our bunnies. Now I didn't bring the stuff in here I threw that piece of ribbon to the side because in my storage the ends have gotten messed up and frayed, so I'm just not going to use that. I'm not sure if I want to add, I didn't plan to add a bow to this, but I'm not, now that I'm looking at it, I might want a bow. I think a bow would finish this off real nice. That one doesn't look so healthy either, so I'm going to trim that. Well, that just made it worse. Looks a little better. Okay, 2 more. Ugh. Yeah, these ribbon tails, several of them are messed up. Even more apparent that I was a newbie when I cut these. that's sticking out so far. It's odd. I'm just going to curl that, pull that up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Seemed out of place because it was sticking out so far, much further than the other ones. Okay, and our last one. Okay. Okay, so there is what it looks like. I think actually the 10-inch tail worked just fine with the ruffles. The cruffles are deeper than the ruffles, so that's probably why I didn't like the 10-inch with the ruffle method, or cruffle method, but it really seems to work okay with ruffles because you can still see all the pretty designs. It's still nice and full. So yeah, I think that you could potentially get away with that. Although now I do, you know, I'm going to use these ribbons, but when they're out, I'm not going to cut no more to 10-inch. I'm going to stick with my 12 and 13. It's just my favorite way to do it. Okay, we need to figure out how we're going to attach our little bunnies. Let's see. I'm going to snip this tag off and try to be very careful to not cut the bunny. Maybe down just a hair. Okay, I think we're going to try to center them there. And let's see, I'm probably going to just attach them with glue, because if I try to wrap something around them, or it's going to show, for one, which I could always cover that with like a ribbon or something. But it's also going to pull them way down in, and I kind of want them to just sit on top. So I think I'm going to glue them to the ribbons and the mesh. I'm gonna hold it up here and let's take a look. Actually, I think I kind of want them like that, because that covers that center hole, and then it gives us a place here to put a bow with some flowy tails, and we might even do a couple little bows on this side. But I am going to have to run and get the ribbon to do the bows. I got some of my ribbon in here, but I didn't get my 1.5 inch. Okay, so while this is heating up, I'm going to go grab those 2 ribbons. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I got the solid black. Oh, shoot, I don't even have the bunny ribbons. And then I've got 3 different shades of pink here. I think I kind of like this one. It's got like a nice glitter, and I think it goes well with the pink bunny. So I'm gonna use those, but I have to go get the bunny ribbon. I really wasn't planning on doing a bow, so I apologize, you guys. But once I seen the size, overall size of the wreath compared to the size of the bunnies, I realized I was gonna need to do something extra. And I am putting a lot of glue on these guys to make sure it holds. They're lightweight, so it should not be an issue. The glue that I use is also very good. I have never ever had any complaint of it coming undone. Oh, shoot, that wasn't very smart. Okay, and while the glue on the bunnies sets up, I'll go grab the bunny ribbons. Okay, so now I have the bunny ribbon. I do not have any more of the black and pink plaid, but that is okay because I have this pink and white, which goes good with our bunny. And then I have this black and white, which goes good with our other bunny. So we will use those. And then we're going to use our pink glittery and our solid black. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can do the bow. Okay, what order do I want to do this? Okay, I'm going to start with our solid plaids. Clean up my glue mess. I'm going to start with the black on the bottom because this is black. So I'm going to do black, pink, and then the bunny because I like to do my wider ribbons first on my bows. I'm going to dovetail the end. The tails on this kind of long because I'm envisioning maybe having them spiral here a little bit. So if I don't like that, I can always trim them off. So I'm going to do probably about a 12-inch tail. And then I'm just twisting that in the middle here. I'll unravel some of the ribbon. Bring it across. I'm going to do a 5.5-inch loop. Twist it again in the middle. Come back with another. Five and a half inches. So 5.5 and 5.5. And then this tail I'm going to pull to the top, and I'm just going to cut it off shorter. And we're done with that one. And then I'm going to do the pink. Dovetail my end. I'm just folding it in half long ways and cutting at an angle from the folded side up to the wired side. And I try not to make my dovetails too deep now. I used to make them deeper because I like that look, but it results in more damage and fraying and messing up your ribbons at the end. So I have switched to doing them shorter. Okay, I did this tail on this side, so now I'm going to switch and do this tail on this side. I'm going to twist it in the middle. Do my loop the same size, so 5.5 inches. Twist in the middle again. And 5.5 inches on the other side. Boy, this ribbon is really pretty. Pretty good quality too. I should tell you where I got these, speaking of which. These are both 2.5-inch ribbons, and they came from Craft Outlet. And then I'm going to pull this tail up on this side and cut it off about the same as the other one. Okay. And now we're going to come in with our cute little bunny. Now this ribbon's a little bit different than the one I used around because it's got like the plaid edging. So it'll still look really cute, and it's the exact same. It just has this edging added to it, so it will still work. So this might be this year's version. Since I got this a couple years ago, this is the one I would have ordered this year. So, okay, now, okay, I do not want my bunnies upside down. So I am going to actually start with my tail at the top. I'm going to twist here in the middle. It's probably a little too long, but I can trim it. Okay, and then I'm going to make my loops. These loops will be the same, 5.5 inches. This ribbon's thicker than this ribbon too. Much better quality. I don't think I realized it was even different when I ordered it. Okay, actually I think I might come in 1/2 inch on this bunny ribbon. So we need to twist it in the middle, and this is going to be challenging because it is so thick, which is good though because it'll hold good shape in our bow. So we'll do another 5 inch on the other side because remember I decided to come in 1/2 inch from the ones under it. Okay, and now since I started up at the top here, my bunnies are facing the right side up, and when I come down, my bunnies are facing the right side up. Had I started down here, my bunnies would have been upside down. Okay, and I'm going to cut this one off a little bit shorter than the first two, probably about 1 inch. Okay, let's see what we've got left. So we've got black and pink. I think I'm just going to use these. I'm not going to use none of those others. And since we have the black bunny, I'm going to do the pink next. And since we have two tails over here and one over here, I'll bring this one down this way. Try to get it about the same length as this one. Twist in the middle. And do, I'm gonna come in a 1/2 inch again, so I'll be at about 4.5 inches on this loop. And 4.5 inches on the other side. And now I need to decide, do I want to do 2 of these? I think, let me see how much I got. Oh, we got plenty. I'm going to do 2 of these on each side. I really like this pink with this white glitter. I think that looks really pretty in our bow. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one, the same size as the one I just did. I don't have a pipe cleaner in here, you guys. I'm going to scream. I think I'm going to go to bed after this. Okay. Now, we will pull this tail up. Cut it a little bit shorter than the last one. I really don't have a pipe cleaner. Okay, we're going to hang on to this pink because I'm going to do one more thing with this pink. We're going to come in next with the black. I'm getting my exercise running back and forth for supplies tonight. I am really so sorry, you guys. I do try to be more prepared. Okay, so we're going to do another tail with the black coming down, a little bit shorter than the pink one that we just did, about 1 inch shorter. Twist it in the middle, and then I'm going to do 1 loop on each side, and I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch again from the pink. And I'm just eyeballing it here, estimating what is about 1/2 inch. Because I have so much ribbon here, I can't see my measurements now, so I'm just using my last one as a guide. Do the same thing on the other side. Come in about 1/2 inch. Press that down in there. Pull this tail up. And we're going to clip it off. Okay, and I'm going to stick my scissors in here and go get a pipe cleaner, guys. I'm very, 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 very sorry. I just brought the whole roll. All right, so now we're gonna feed our pipe cleaner down through between the 2 poles on our easy bow. You can do this if you are more, coordinated than me. If you can hold all these ribbons in your hand, you can do them without a bow maker. So I just take my 2 thumbs on top and hold it together very secure. Put my 4 fingers under on each side to hold all those ribbons, and then I just pull it out slowly, making sure I keep all that ribbon together and that I don't let it slip or slide or come out of the bundle. Twist it once in the back, and then I pull them forward and I keep twisting downward into the ribbon so that it is tightening that loop around my bow. Okay. Now once I get that done, I'm going to come back and dovetail the ends that still need it. This pink glittery ribbon is really thick, good quality ribbon too. Okay, those are all done. We need to do this one. this is our bow, guys. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the wreath before I fluff it. And then we'll decide if I need to do a couple little bows for this side. I think we're going to need to. Check my bunnies. Oh, that's a pretty good hold. Okay, so I'm going to come in kind of right in this section here, right over this pipe cleaner that's holding these two ribbons. And that's where I'm going to go with the bow. And then I'm going to feed it down to the base so that I can wrap it around the wire frame. Of course, that's easier said than done, of course. Oh, I see why, because it's going through a piece of ribbon. We don't want to do that. There we go. Now I have the first one. I just need to get the second one. Okay, and I'm just going to wrap. I'm not going to pull real tight because I don't want to flatten my bow. I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around itself. Pull it snug, but not tight. And then just wrap the pipe cleaner around itself. And we have a lot of ribbon on there, so there's not really extra pipe cleaner to cut off. So when I get done twisting, I'm just going to push the ends of the pipe cleaner up inside of the design to protect from those sharp wires. This tail here is probably a tad too long. Okay, so we'll come here and we're going to start at the base to fluff our bow. I'm going to puff up the pink loop and the black loop, pull one down and one up, and I'm going to leave my bunny in the middle. Okay, so then I'm going to come over here to the other side and I'm going to do the opposite. Since the pink's up over here, I'm going to pull it down on this side and the black up so that they're opposite. Then again, I'm going to do my bunny in the middle. And then these little pink loops, I'm just going to spread them out and kind of fluff them. We're going to trim this because he's definitely way too long. Pink one this way, and it's a little too long too. Actually, maybe I'll pull the bunny this way. Yeah, do the bunny this way and the pink one this way. Okay, and then we got this little black tail, and you guys, I meant to put a pink loop in the middle there and I forgot. Okay, I really like our bow. I'm probably going to curl my ribbon tails. And the way that I do that is I usually use a pencil or a marker or something, and I just start rolling it and roll it all the way up. And I'm gonna spray some liquid starch on it, and I'll let them sit like this until they dry. I'll roll all of them up, and then that gives you like that little spiral curl look. We need to move this leaf or this loop, it's covering our bunny up, so I'm going to adjust that. And then I think that looks good. So let's see what I think. Do we need a bow over here? Yeah, I think we do, guys. I think we need a little one here and a little one here. So let's just do a couple quick little bows. pink and the black, and then I'll do the bunny and the pink. I'm going to dovetail it just like I did to start with. I'm going to put my tail this way. And these are just going to be little small bows, so I'm probably going to just do a 6-inch tail. Twist my ribbon. In fact, I think I'm going to do a half bow. So to do a half bow, we just do one loop. And I'm going to make it probably 3 inches. Let me see. No, I want it a little bigger. I'm going to do 5 inches for my half loop. And I'm going to pull this out here and I'm going to cut it off even with the other one. Okay, and then I'm going to come with this pink dovetail. I'm going to do the same thing. Might actually run my tails the opposite way. I do a 6-inch tail the opposite way. And I'm going to do a 5-inch loop like I did on the other side. And I'm just using the measurements. This Easy Bow Maker has a ruler on it on each side, so I'm just using that to make sure I get 5 inches. And then pull this tail out even with this one. And that's it for this little guy. Wrap my pipe cleaner around exactly the same way I did my big bow, except this one will be easier. A lot less to hold on to. Twist it tight still though. You want your loop around your bow to tighten. And we are going to dovetail. I'm going to stick this guy right in about here. This is a lot of mesh to get down through, so you just kind of have to be patient and take your time. So I went from no bow to 3 bows, guys. I just thought the bunnies were bigger, I guess, than what they were, so I thought they were going to take up more space on the design, and I was just going to do bunnies and some florals. But once I seen them on there, I realized that was not going to be enough. I'm just twisting the pipe cleaner. Now here we have some extra, so I'm going to trim that off. Push it up inside. Okay, and then we've got pink tail, bunny loop, a pink loop, and bunny tails. Okay, and now I'm going to do a similar concept for right here, like right in this area, except I'm going to use the pink plaid and the solid black. We got plenty of ribbon, just wanted to double check that. Okay, so again, I'm going to do 6-inch tails. Twist it in the middle, a 5-inch loop. Twist it in the middle again. almost did another loop, you guys. We're doing half bows. So now we're just going to cut the tail off. And now we're going to come in with some black. I'm going to do my tails the opposite way again. So 6 inches, twist, do a 5-inch loop. And another tail, 6 inches. These half bows are really easy, but really pretty. They really add a lot to your wreath design. Oh, almost forgot to dovetail. I like to do that before I put it on my wreath. You can do it after you put it on, but I always lose the little pieces down inside, and I don't want a customer to get my wreath and then stuff be falling out of it. So I try to remember to do it before. And I think we'll just place this one right in this area, kind of so it lays this way. I'm going to fight with this mesh one more time. I do think it's easier to feed the pipe cleaners down through the cruffles than the ruffles, because the ruffles are more spread out, so it's harder to work around them. But I do like this design. I think this is turning out pretty nice. I'm just real partial to cruffles. Okay, so I got it down through there. I'm just twisting it to secure the bow on. I'm going to cut off the extra. Okay. Spread out these tails and kind of arch them, run them between my fingers. We'll make them kind of poof up and out. Then I'm going to fluff up my loops. With our bows, and I'm not even gonna lie, and when I look at this standing up, I think I'm gonna add another bow. Just do 3 of them, because now we have what looks like a flat area when all this is really super full. So let's see what we can do this time. I definitely want to put some bunny in it. Well, actually, we've got the bunny in the middle. Maybe I'll just do one like this one to go up here. That's what we'll do. And then that will balance it out. So I'm going to start with the pink again. Same exact thing I did for the last 2 half bows. I'm going to do 6-inch tail, twist in the middle, do a 5-inch loop. Well, that's 4. 5-inch loop. And I don't need to twist it because we're going to cut it off. I'm just playing around here, you guys. I even have some florals that I'm thinking about adding, so probably go right ahead and do that while I'm on live. A lot of times I get off my live and I'm like, oh man, I should have added some florals. So I'm going to go ahead and test those out and see if I like any of them while we're on here. And I just have a few. I didn't want to, there's a lot going on with this wreath already with the patterns and stuff, so I didn't want to do too much florals and make it overbearing. But I thought a few would be cute. I was actually planning to do bunnies and florals, and that was all. Okay. Anytime I do a design, though, something always changes. I always change my mind about something. Oh, dovetail. Probably right in this section. So through the mesh again I go. Oh, it's easier up here, you guys. It's going right through for me. Okay. So let me pull that, just not real tight, but just snug. And now I'm going to twist the pipe cleaner. Extra, push that up inside. Now let me fix my tails. I'm so surprised as long as this has taken me that my husband didn't come home right in the middle of it. Okay. All right, that definitely made it full. Very, very full. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty cute. I like it so far. I'm going to take a look at a few florals. I've got a little bit of greenery and just a few florals. And I'll start snipping them apart. These two florals, this was left over from another project, so I'm probably just going to use up the last few pieces of it. And then this aster bush, these both came from the Dollar Tree. This really gorgeous greenery with the pink berries, this came from Greenery Market. This was part of a box that I got this week. I'm so excited about. I will probably never buy another floral at Hobby Lobby, the Dollar Tree, or anywhere else, because their prices, when I calculated it up, no joke, their prices were equivalent to the dollar store, because you get so much. And you know, just this would be $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, and I think this whole thing was $6. So really, the quality is 100% better, and the value is better, and the price is about the same, and maybe even better. So I'm going to snip a few of those. Now let's see, these are not pushers, so let me figure out where I want to snip these, because these branches are very long. I definitely don't want to just shove those in, that's too much. So I'm going to snip off this end piece. That will give me one little bunch to add. And then I'm going to snip off this piece. And then there's another little bunch to add. And then we have this little bunch to add. So I'm basically probably going to make, now some of them are shorter than others. So this one here will only be 2. Actually, maybe leave that as 1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that as 1. This one I will make into 2. It's got more on it. Snip it right there. So, see? Okay, so let's see. I think I'm just gonna take these greeneries and kind of go around outside here and just poke them in. That's too long. I'm going to cut off that stem. Okay, so kind of just like that. I think that's cute. Gives it a nice little pop of green in there. Let's see. Come down here and do one. Have to trim that again. And let's see, we're going to need one in this section. This one's a little bit fuller, so I think I'm going to put it right here, and then have the smaller one down here towards the bottom. Okay. And then we'll turn it around. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I want to do a couple up towards the top here. One there, so we need one right about here. And probably one right here coming out behind the bow. We gotta make it pretty on all sides. Okay, we're getting too hot. Now I'm gonna go ahead and snip these off. Now these are sliders, and so I'm not gonna have as many bunches of this probably. We'll see how I decide to use it. I just wanted to finish using it up on this project because I got so much stuff laying around. Okay, so we have 3 bunches unless I separate them. So I think I'm going to do one kind of maybe right here coming out of that bow, and do one on the opposite side, maybe coming out of this bow, and then up here. Actually, I think I'm going to just kind of have this one coming up out of this bow like that. Like that. And then let's see what we think. I never commit to my florals until I have them all laid on there. Rarely do I. Sometimes I have, but I struggle with florals, so I like to place them all and make sure that I actually like them before I commit and glue them down. And I don't use these little cheap greenery leaves. I will just get rid of those. All right, let's see what it would look like if we just did a couple pops of pink here and there. So maybe there. Probably, oh, I don't want to leave that one. Once we're about to fix it, but we can fix it. I'll spray it with starch and use my dryer to reshape it. See, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We probably need another one right up here. Well, I think I do like all those. That's probably where I'm gonna glue. And I don't think I'm gonna add any more because I just want it to be subtle. I don't want to overwhelm it. You guys let me know what you think. And I'm sorry again that my computer's acting up and I couldn't see comments, but as soon as we're done and I eat dinner, I will get on there and I'll check them and answer you guys. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you again soon. Not tonight, but probably tomorrow. Okay, you guys have a wonderful night.